What's going on, guys? My name is Ben with Double R Reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 electric cars that are worth the hype in 2020. If you're not familiar with what an electric car is, in simple terms, it is a vehicle that's propelled by electricity using energy stored in rechargeable batteries. This technology, and simply, has been around for over 100 years, and now over the last 2 decades it's been more and more integrated into our automobile lifestyle. A lot of these car manufacturers are coming up with new and creative innovations to be able to propel these cars off electricity. There's also a growing concern over greenhouse gases and burning fossil fuels, which is a social awareness issue. And thus is why a lot of the manufacturers are trying to get a piece of the pie for this growing demand. With that being said, now that these cars have been in mainstream production for a while, it is interesting to see the differences and starting to compare what we're going to see in the future to what we have today. Now, if you are considering buying an electric car this year, 2020, please pay attention to this video as I'm going to be counting down my top 5 that are worth the hype.
Alright, let's start off with number 5 with the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Now this car exterior wise looks very aggressive, very sleek, very modern. I think that besides the taillights and the front logos, there's really not a lot of similarities between this Mach-E and the traditional Ford Mustang Coupe. I think that this car definitely is going to be a very high sought after car just because it gets over 300 miles to the charge, which I think that it's definitely over the industry standard. Is around 200 miles to the charge, which is very good, and it definitely puts it on par with competing with some of the Teslas. As far as the looks, I think that it's different enough and unique enough for people to want to see what it's all about, and I think that Ford produced a really good product. I do wish that Ford would have just left it at the Mach-E and not put the Mustang logos all over the car. However, to each your own, it's a small detail. Not sure how the Mustang community and the enthusiasts feel about that. I mean, traditionally the Ford Mustang was a V8 powerhouse sports car, and now it's more of a family 4-door saloon. As far as the technology in the car, it looks as if there's going to be a lot more features that are typically in American cars, especially at this price point for a vehicle. I think that this is going to be a well-valued car, and if they can truly deliver on everything that they have promised, as far as the connectivity, technology, just the drivability of the car, the functions, everything that you basically see here. I mean, this car looks to be loaded, and it looks to be completely unique and completely brand new and refreshed. I'm impressed by it. That's why it's made my list. I'm excited for this car to come out, even with all the controversy around it. I think that this is going to be something that is a stepping stone for Ford to leap into the future. And if this is their first step, I'm thoroughly impressed. Now for number 4, the 2020 Mercedes-Benz EQC. Now this is Mercedes' first step really into the electric vehicle market, and their starting price for the progressive models is around $68,000, for the premium models around $73,000, and of course for the advanced models around $77,000. Now, the range on this car gets around 200 plus miles to a single charge. It does 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. There's 2 electric motors and 1-speed direct drive transmission. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle that has around 402 horsepower with 561 foot-pounds of torque. As far as the exterior of this car, it's absolutely beautiful in my opinion. It fits the Mercedes-Benz brand very, very well. The interior is very clean, dual infotainment system screens. A lot of the interior that you find in the modern Mercedes-Benz is going to be continuing this vehicle. That's where a lot of German engineering stands out. As far as the exterior, I think that it has a lot of the similar curves and aggressive lines, and we made my list here is because the exterior and the interior combined. But as far as this stat sheet, I do feel that Mercedes-Benz has fallen a little bit short. For this car, its main competitor is the Model X of the Tesla, and it falls short around 100 miles to a single charge, and it doesn't get up and go as quickly. It is a little bit cheaper than the Model X, but not by a whole lot. I still think the Model X is a better value. However, in my opinion, this is a much better looking car. So to each your own. If you have the money to purchase this car and keep it for a year or 2, and then once Mercedes-Benz comes up with the next evolution of electric vehicles, I think that this is a good stepping stone for Mercedes-Benz, and I think that this is a vehicle you can consider if you're thinking about buying an electric powered SUV. Number 3, the Audi e-tron. Now the premium model of this Audi starts around $75,000, the Prestige around $80,000, and of course the Sportback around $81,000. The range on these vehicles is 200 plus miles and also is an all-wheel drive vehicle, very similar to a lot of the other Audis that are in their lineup. Now of course Audi is another luxury yet sporty brand that has been integrated their flagship cars in the EV market. The e-tron is another advancement for Audi step into the future. The interior is classic Audi with practical tech and loads of sophistication. Now Audi does a great job with their exteriors. I think that they have very contemporary designs, but at the same time very sleek and kind of non-drastic designs. Audi is going to be producing the GT version of this car that I think is going to be epic, but for now, like I said before, it's a stepping stone for their current electric vehicle market. For $80,000, I think that their price point is a bit high for this car, especially only 200 miles to a charge, especially compared to some of the other brands that are on this list. But once again, this car makes it onto my list simply because the branding of Audi, they're well known to be driver vehicles. I think that this car is going to handle and perform very well. As far as electric range, I think that they have room for improvement. As far as price point, they're going to be able to reduce that over time. Keep in mind, some of these electric vehicles, the reason why their price points are higher is because of the amount of research and development it takes for a car manufacturer to go into a completely different type of vehicle. Over the years, we will see, in my opinion, this car either reduce the price or become a way better value by adding more bells and whistles. But if you have the money, once again, Audi I feel is a great decision, and I can't wait to get my hands on one of these cars. All right, number 2 is the Tesla Model Y. Now this car MSRP is around $40,000 and it gets upwards of 310 plus miles of electricity per charge. This is an all-wheel drive vehicle and it seats 7. It has 2 independent motors, digitally controlled torque to the front and rear wheels, does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds for the performance model, and is rechargeable with 158 mile range in 15 minutes. You can't mention electric vehicles without mentioning Tesla. They have arguably been the most innovative car manufacturer when it comes to these type of vehicles. The Tesla Model Y, I feel it made my list simply because of the amount of value that it has. And when you buy a Tesla, you typically think that they should be reliable when it comes to the infotainment system and everything working seamlessly with the electric motor. All the other manufacturers on this list have been integrating a lot of their already done innovations to a certain vehicle, and it is uncertain how reliable they are. With this car, there is some stories of issues going wrong with the batteries and the connectivities, and sometimes to have to find a Tesla dealership to be able to work on the car is a little bit difficult, but that's kind of the price you should anticipate when it comes to any electric vehicle because of how new it is. Granted, now that these type of vehicles have been out for over 2 decades, it is time for people to get a little bit more comfortable. Now the Tesla Model Y is loaded with technology. It's loaded with tech as far as blind spot monitoring and of course autonomous driving, which Tesla's been famous for. But as far as this car, I think that it's one of the more boring cars to look at on the list. However, it gets the job done, and that's why it's number 2. Because it's just a huge value, and a lot of times people who are seeking these type of cars might not even care about what it looks like, but simply that it is it has all the bells and whistles, and of course it gives you that maximum range for your dollar, and that's what this car delivers. Number 1 is the Porsche Taycan. Now this is the 2020 version of this car. The Porsche is the most expensive on the list and arguably some of the worst range. However, the Porsche makes up for it in the aggressive performance and also very sleek styling. I mean, just look at it. This car has the first ever 2-speed automatic transmission fitted to an electric motor with over 800 volts, which would give the Tesla a run for its money. Following on that, since it is a Porsche, the main focus on the car is the driver capability. A lot of reviewers anticipate that this car would be the best driver experience out of the competition. Now, MSRP for this 4S model starts around $103,000, the Turbo around $150,000, and the Turbo S around $185,000. The range for this vehicle is around 200 miles off of a single charge. The horsepower ranges from 562 to 750 horsepower. Top speed of the 4S is 155 miles an hour, while the turbo tops out at 162 miles per hour. This car does 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, the exterior of this car is absolutely sleek. It has one of the lower profiles out of all the electric vehicles on the list today. It's definitely a lot more sleek, and for the price point, it fits it very well. This has, from the inside and out, nothing but a luxurious stance and a very attractive profile. With the interior full of technology, full of all the bells and whistles as far as backup cameras, digital dashes, anything that you can think of, you name it, it's in this car. Porsche's first time in the EV market as far as a full capable electric vehicle is this Porsche Taycan. It is very impressive compared to its competitors, and looking forward as other manufacturers create other cars to compete with this, it is very apparent that Porsche has invested a lot of design and innovation into the future of electric vehicles. Now, if you guys have the money, I do recommend going for more of the Turbo S or the Turbo and bypassing the 4S. However, to each your own, the car is over 6 figures and it definitely isn't cheap. Alright guys, well that's my video for today. I appreciate you for watching. Please comment, like below, let me know how I'm doing. This is a new type of video that I'm trying to do and wanted to see everybody's response. So I appreciate you for watching, and you guys have a good one. Alright.